Welcome everybody to my explanation and also the discussion of the Stone Age. So the Stone Age was a very long period, if you didn't know, that lasted for over 2.5 million years and was the first era of the humankind. So I will be discussing the three eras, how the people lived, and what was the effect that the Stone Age had on the people. In the Paleolithic, people used animal fur as clothing, hunted animals to eat, made fires to cook their meat, lived in caves, and used stone tools to hunt and do also various activities. In the Paleolithic, people had to move often because if not, the winter would come and no food would be around for the people to hunt. They also did some paintings in caves using charcoal, blood, and more things as paint. They used this so that they could communicate without talking to other tribes or families. The next thing I'm going to tell you is enter a bit in detail about the stone tools. First of all, to hunt they used the bow and arrow with a stone tip. They also used spears to hunt, fight, or also fish. They also used the fire to cook up their meat, and they also used it to heat themselves when the winter came. They used torches to see in the dark. They used hammers and axes for different various activities, including hunting, chopping wood, and polishing stone. The last thing they used were wood clubs that would serve them in fighting and hunting, or just knocking out animals. The second period of the Stone Age was the Neolithic, which lasted 6,000 years approximately. At this time, people started to make villages and plant their own crops and make their own houses, and also they started to distribute jobs such as weaver, hunter, maybe builder, and much more. The next thing they also did was domesticate animals such as dogs, or at that time wolves, goats, sheep, and pigs. The third and last period of the prehistoric times are the Metal Ages, which lasted around 7,000 years. This is one of the villages that you could see in the Neolithic, but this time it's better made because it has a better wall, better infrastructure, and one of the most important things, metals. As you see, there were many things you can do with metal. Spears, daggers, knives, swords, helmets, chest plates, even pots are things that you could do with the metal that they found. But they didn't just find one type of metal, they found more than one. First it was copper, and that was quite weak, but could be forged easily. Then was the bronze, and that was a bit stronger. And finally the iron, which is one of the elements we still use today. Also, at this point, the people started smithing by using very, very hot rocks, which are hot as lava or magma, whatever you want to call it, and to smelt the iron, the copper, or even the bronze, and turn it into weapons or anything you need. And this is how the prehistoric times ended, but with the creation of the writing. The last thing is to discuss about what did the prehistoric times do, because I already covered that thing, but I also want to cover how did it affect people. Well, because it is the first era of mankind, it's the first thing for everything. The tools came from the prehistoric times, the wheels did, almost everything except complicated machinery and more, like electronics, and came from the prehistoric times. So I think the only problem with the prehistoric times is that mankind was stuck too much time because it was over 2.5 million years, and that is too much time to get the tools and start metallurgy and writing. So I hope you enjoyed.